Welcome to the forecast discussion for July 2nd, 2014. Getting ready for the 4th of July weekend, but we have a lot of weather to get through to get to that point of excellent weather conditions for this weekend. And unfortunately, that includes a lot of showers, thunderstorms, hot and humid conditions. It's not pretty out there. Currently, temperatures as of noon range from the upper 70s to lower 80s over Long Island, where we do have some areas of fog here due to all this humidity and moisture in the atmosphere. Away from the fog and the cooler conditions on Long Island, where highs should top off in the mid 80s, everyone else is already driving into the mid to upper 80s over the interior and upper 80s to lower 90s over much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Temperatures will top off this afternoon in the lower to mid 90s in much of your urban locations like New York City and Philadelphia, leading to a heat index over 100 degrees in many locations, especially central New Jersey, southern New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania. Overall, it's ugly out there. It's humid, it's uncomfortable, and it's not a fun place to be. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be dealing with showers and thunderstorms. We're already starting to see severe thunderstorms pop up in northern Pennsylvania, lifting into north central New York. It's going to be a very active afternoon as these thunderstorms approach the region. So let's take a look at the surface map, and basically we have all the players on the field. We have Tropical Storm Arthur that is likely to become a hurricane by this evening, the way that this storm is developing, and based on all the other models that we're seeing here. This tropical storm, I want to be very clear, will not have a direct impact on the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Indirect impact? Absolutely. Is Friday morning going to be a bit unsettled? Yes. Will your 4th of July outdoor events, fireworks, or barbecues be interrupted? I don't think so. I'm going to show you why in just a moment. The main players here, again, is Arthur here, supplying all the tropical moisture up the East Coast. The first cold front here, which is starting to wash out and stall out, running into that hot and humid air mass, still going to spark off plenty of showers and thunderstorms, though. Now, notice with stalling out here, the focus of the lifting, the best focus will be over eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey. That doesn't mean the coast escapes from the threat for showers and thunderstorms. It just means that the best lifting and dynamics will be further to your west. So you're more likely to see a severe thunderstorm over western New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania and the Hudson River Valley rather than right along the immediate coast. Doesn't rule it out, just the likelihood is better to the west. This cold front is the real deal here. This cold front is very strong. It's going to bring a fundamental change in the air mass by the time we get to Friday evening. And it's going to be the reason why this tropical storm gets kicked right out into the Atlantic. And it's also going to be capable of producing very heavy rainfall starting tonight and continuing on through tomorrow, with the potential for some tropical downpours throughout the region. Next, I want to show you the lifted heat index. Now, I use this as a tool. You don't really see this much on TV. It's a very important tool to determine the potential for severe weather. And what this basically is telling me is that the difference in temperature from the surface, where we are, to the upper levels, let's say about 500 millibars, is significant. Now, the greater you see that difference, the more likely that you have thunderstorms, and severe ones at that. When you start to get to -7, -8, -9 degrees Celsius in difference in temperature, that means the water vapor that's down here is able to rise rapidly in the atmosphere because the atmosphere in the upper atmosphere is much colder. So that water vapor is able to rise very rapidly, very high in the atmosphere, and that's how you get those cumulus clouds. Those puffy clouds build up. When you watch a cumulus cloud turning into a thunderstorm, notice how it kind of bubbles up like popcorn. That's what this is, okay? So the greater the temperature difference, the more likelihood and the more energy is present for strong to severe thunderstorms. And again, the focus is clearly over eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey. And notice as you head towards the coast, where it's a little bit more stable, you see the difference in temperatures fall off rapidly with a very impressive gradient. Now, this gradient, by the way, sometimes can foster thunderstorms that may not be severe, but are capable of very heavy downpours and training over the same location via what's called a sea breeze front. So we're going to keep an eye on the entire region for active, strong to severe thunderstorms and heavy downpours this afternoon and evening. Taking a look at the radar, it's getting active already. Here are the thunderstorms I'm talking about already lifting north and east. Now, this is at about 12 p.m. So you see these thunderstorms lifting north and eastward. Expect more thunderstorms to start to form down here in southeastern Pennsylvania and lift north and east. And you'll see these pockets of thunderstorms that will start to develop around Virginia as well. If you're looking to see whether the thunderstorms are going to impact you, look from your location south and west, because all the thunderstorms are lifting north and east. So if you're here and you see thunderstorms here, then these thunderstorms won't impact you. This one will. So it's going to be, again, a situation where we're going to watch to see how these thunderstorms form. One aspect of this forecast is that if you have a lot of severe thunderstorms here that leads to sinking air, that could spare the region. It's a possibility. Some mesoscale models do show that. So again, we are going to watch this hour by hour, minute by minute, and constantly update and keep you abreast of the situation. These thunderstorms will be capable of very heavy downpours, frequent lightning, some small hail, and wind gusts over 50 miles per hour. Could even see some wind gusts over 70 miles per hour due to a strong, what we call jet streak in the atmosphere. On the infrared satellite picture, you kind of see the whole scenario unfolding right in front of our eyes. Here's our stationary front. Here comes the cumulus field starting to pop up here. You can see some of those little clouds over Long Island. Here's the more powerful cold front. Now notice all this sinking air here. I'm going to show you the water vapor. It's pretty interesting what we have evolving over here over the plains. And then here is our tropical storm. Now this is the forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Notice it makes a quick left hook right out into the Atlantic, well far away from the New Jersey coast. Okay, I want to make that very, very clear. I know there's some media out there and making this a little bit trickier than it has to be. This hurricane will be far away from the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, but it will create strong surf and rip currents. So use caution. Don't go in the water if you don't have to. There's no reason to. Go in a pool, stay by the shore. It's going to be kind of rough out there this weekend with the surf, so use some caution. Here is the 11 a.m. updates, latest from the National Hurricane Center on Arthur. You can see that it has sustained winds at 60 miles per hour, 15 more miles per hour, and we have a hurricane here, ladies and gentlemen. It's moving to the north at 7 miles per hour, which is picking up the speed, and the pressure is down to 997 millibars, which is about what you would expect with a strong tropical storm or possibly a weak Category 1 hurricane. When we take a look at the visible satellite picture, one thing I'm starting to notice here is still the convection is pretty much focused on the eastern side of this circulation, but we are starting to see some convection wrap around the low-level center. If we start to see that starting to happen, then, ladies and gentlemen, we have a hurricane on the way. The longer dry air, which is what we see right here, continues to linger over this tropical system, the more likely that it will have a hard time strengthening. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And one other thing to point out, if you have the western side of this storm, basically the weaker side, with the precipitation bands rather disorganized, you have to be careful with the model guidance when you're looking at it, and it starts to overemphasize the western semicircle of these tropical systems. We see it all the time where the dry air overwhelms these tropical systems more on the coastal plain than what was forecasted. So that's another reason why I'm going with the forecast where you have showers on Friday morning, followed by clearing skies and clearing and improving conditions in the afternoon and evening. One other point I just want to backtrack on, and I want to pull this up, it's pretty cool. This is the sea surface temperatures. Okay, I'm going to highlight this here. I want you to focus right here. Here's our tropical storm. And see these sea surface temperatures? They are very warm and above normal, by the way. About 29 degrees Celsius, which is over 80 degrees. And we even have some 30 degrees Celsius popping up in here as well, if you look at the raw data. Basically, these very warm temperatures are in line right where the track of this storm's going to be. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it's going to have plenty of energy, warm water to work with to intensify this storm as it's lifting north and east. So if you have family or friends around North Carolina, especially coastal North Carolina, my advice is to leave now, play it safe, and if it's not that bad, hey, at least we had a nice little road trip, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I would not want to be on the Outer Banks when this storm passes by later on Thursday and Friday. Off to the water vapor satellite picture here. Another aspect I want to point out is this right here, this bowling ball here. This is one very impressive disturbance and a little bit stronger than what's being forecasted, and this is why I think that this storm's going to take a left hook even a little bit faster, and the model guidance has been trending a little bit further east. This is a strong disturbance, and this disturbance, let's say, is a soccer player. That's a soccer ball. This soccer player is going to kick this soccer ball out into the Atlantic, and it looks like this soccer player has one heck of a strong leg to do so. Kind of playing up the World Cup here. I know we lost, but still, it was cool to watch. So, when we look at the water vapor, we know we have plenty of energy. We have disturbances all over the place, supporting the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. This cold front washes out. Still, the thunderstorms will be a threat throughout this afternoon. Cold front number 2, much stronger with a far more impressive disturbance, drives towards the east coast. Moisture from this system gets entrained into this cold front, and you end up with very heavy rainfall on Thursday in waves. It's not going to be all day, but it's going to be in waves, and these waves are going to feature tropical-like thunderstorms that are capable of impressive rainfall rates. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that for the potential for localized flash flooding. This cold front pushes off. You have subsidence behind this tropical system. The evening of 4th of July, clearing skies, and Saturday and Sunday, absolutely beautiful. So let's take a look at the European model guidance on the Penn State EWOL website. Again, for this afternoon, unstable, uncomfortable, and stormy. With the threat for thunderstorms, temperatures by tomorrow morning will fall off only into the lower to mid 70s. It's going to feel really sticky and muggy out there with showers and thunderstorms all over the place as well. So it's not exactly going to be very comfortable out there at all. For tomorrow, that cold front approaches the region. Here's Arthur, here's our trough, getting ready to kick this out into the Atlantic. Plenty of moisture streaming up the coast at all levels of the atmosphere, which means that these thunderstorms will be capable of very heavy downpours and widespread. These thunderstorms will be widespread on Thursday. Temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s because we're still in that tropical air mass. On Friday, the day where everyone's kind of focusing on here, the storm gets kicked out. The cold front is off the coast by the evening. So Friday morning, look for scattered showers, and some of them could produce heavy downpours. Temperatures in the lower to mid 70s for lows because you still have that tropical air mass still lingering around. By the afternoon, you have a northwesterly wind, dry air is building in, temperatures only in the lower to mid 80s for highs, dew points falling off into the mid 50s. So you can clearly see that we're dealing with a much drier air mass. Any type of precipitation is being pushed off the coast. If you're in eastern Long Island, you're probably going to wait until the mid-afternoon hours to see all those showers clear out. If you're in New Jersey and points west, even New York City and points west, you're going to see those clearing skies much faster. I would not be surprised if this clears out faster, in fact, the way that the whole pattern is setting up. But we're kind of playing it safe here. By the time we get to the evening, clearing skies will be in place and very comfortable conditions as well. Then, from here on out, from Friday evening all the way on through Tuesday, and guess what? I get a nice break. Because you're going to have high pressure and control, comfortable weather conditions are going to be in place, low humidity for Saturday and Sunday. You're talking about temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast, pretty much average for this time of year, mid 80s for highs. Monday, Tuesday, and even if you go into Wednesday, that high pressure system shifts off the coast. We get a little bit more humid, but it's not a heat wave. It's in no way, shape a hot air mass. It's pretty much near normal. You're going to be talking about temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s for lows, mid to upper 80s for highs. You could see a 90-degree temperature pop up in, let's say, around the Philadelphia metro. But it's not a heat event. It's not a heat wave situation here at all. with winds from the west and tranquil weather conditions, no threat for thunderstorms. So once we get through Friday morning, it's going to be clear sailing all the way on through the middle of next week. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. I will continue to keep you abreast of the situation with Arthur. And of course, for our region, the threat for strong to severe thunderstorms and these very uncomfortable temperatures throughout the day and into tomorrow. As always, stay safe out there.